You've seen the pictures, the live music venues, the Michelin recognized restaurants, those stunning lakes and hill country views, and the endless sunshine. Austin really looks like a dream, but here's the reality. Most people relocate to Austin without fully understanding what they're actually signing up for. At first glance, everything seems pretty perfect. No state income tax, an incredibly creative scene, abundant tech opportunities, and just enough unique character to really make you feel at home. But then reality hits. You're overwhelmed, over budget, and in a neighborhood that ultimately doesn't match your lifestyle at all. And that's exactly why I created this guide, not to add to the hype of Austin, so to speak, but to give you the real roadmap before you actually start packing. We'll cover where to live, what life genuinely looks like in and around Austin, and both the opportunities and potential pitfalls that you can expect. You're getting the authentic Austin experience, not just the online version. And this is the comprehensive playbook I wish every relocation buyer had before actually making their move. Let's talk about the authentic feel of Austin, because Google Maps will of course show you where things are, but it won't tell you what it's actually like living here in Austin. The city is creative yet practical, laid back yet ambitious, funky yet increasingly polished, and the city is constantly evolving, creating, and consistently attracting people who ultimately want something a little bit different. Whether you're exploring the food truck parts of East Austin or walking past really nice new high-rises downtown, you can feel the energy everywhere you go. Creativity and opportunity are woven into the fabric of Austin, and moving here isn't just about getting a new house. You're stepping into an entirely new rhythm of life. Mornings start with that golden Texas sun filtering through the oak trees. You'll grab a breakfast taco from your favorite neighborhood spot and either navigate traffic on 35 or just log into Zoom from your backyard patio with views of the hills. What I love about Austin is that it's completely random. Your neighbor might be a software engineer, a musician, a yoga instructor with an online course empire, or just a corporate transplant slowly embracing that new Austin lifestyle. It's a city built on creativity and collaboration. And I'd say the evenings are really when Austin truly comes alive. Live music spills out of the venues on Congress and 6th Street. Everyone makes their way to some of the best restaurants in the country. And of course, there's sunset kayaking on Lady Bird Lake or shows at the numerous venues all around town. So whether you're enjoying craft cocktails at nice speakeasies or just relaxing on a picnic blanket at Zilker Park, it's all here in Austin. And what I really love is the city isn't just for one type of person. You'll find the innovation of San Francisco, the friendliness of the South, and just enough great Texas independence to keep things fun and interesting. The lifestyle here is really what you make of it at the end of the day. If you want space and nature, we have plenty of suburbs with hiking trails, swimming holes, and really big hill country views. If you prefer energy and culture, there's an entire side of Austin that pulses with creativity all around the clock. Here's what's really important. Austin definitely rewards authenticity. If you come here trying to be something you're not, the city will see right through it and leave you wondering why you're not connecting. And that is why working with experienced local professionals truly matter. My team and I help clients get past these highlight reels to really build a life here that actually suits your needs. So if you're seriously considering relocating to Austin and want personalized guidance for your specific situation, feel free to reach out. All of our contact information is in the description below and of course pinned to the top. We've successfully helped dozens of families make this transition and we'd love to help you too. Now let's discuss the weekends, the food, the activities, and those spontaneous discoveries that make you think I could definitely see myself living here. Once you're settled, Wi-Fi is connected, and you've of course identified your nearest H-E-B grocery store, you'll naturally wonder what there is to do. And let me tell you, Austin takes lifestyle very seriously. This city really knows how to deliver a great experience. So whether you're into farm to table dining or late night food trucks, you won't have to drive an hour to find it. The food scene deserves very special recognition. Austin has officially arrived on the world culinary stage with Michelin-rated restaurants that rival major food cities. We're talking about award-winning fine dining experiences that have earned international acclaim, all alongside legendary spots like Franklin Barbecue. And yes, that's the one with the 4-hour line. The range here is extraordinary. Michelin recognized spots serving innovative tasting menus, taco trucks on every corner, and of course, brunch spots that transform into full experiences with live acoustic sets by late Saturday morning. So whether you want Thai fusion, vegan soul food, and everything in between, we have entire parks dedicated to culinary creativity. Every neighborhood really has its own distinct character. Downtown and Rainy Street offer rooftop patios with skyline views. The Domain up north provides more of that upscale shopping and dining experience. South Congress, also known as SoCo, features a ton of vintage shops, quirky boutiques, and iconic spots like Home Slice Pizza. East Austin brings that gritty, creative energy with murals, breweries, and pop-ups that change on a monthly basis. And even those smaller communities like Dripping Springs offer wineries and really awesome hill country sunsets. But beyond food, there's incredible entertainment. We're talking about Austin City Limits and South by Southwest, two of the biggest events in the entire country. Then, of course, there's kayaking and paddleboarding on Lady Bird Lake, concerts for every genre imaginable, rock climbing, mountain biking, disc golf, and of course, catching a UT Longhorns game right around the corner. If you have kids or family visiting, you'll love Barton Springs Pool, the Zilker Botanical Gardens, and of course, watching those really awesome bats emerge from under Congress Avenue Bridge at sunset. But here's what matters most. It's not just about the activities. The city feels welcoming at first, but once you're truly in it, you realize that it definitely has its layers. And that's where the magic really happens. But let's pause here and shift the focus, because after the restaurants and music festivals, you still need a place to call home. Next, we're going to break down exactly where people are actually living, and more importantly, how to determine which part of Austin makes the most sense for you. Now you've experienced the skyline, tried the Michelin restaurants, and felt the Austin vibe. But now comes the critical question: where should you actually live? And here's what most people get wrong. They choose an area based on what looks attractive from those glossy marketing photos. Maybe it's what a friend recommended or what they saw on social media, all without considering exactly how their daily life will actually look. That's exactly how people end up in a high-rise condo with surprise monthly fees, or miles from the nearest grocery store, feeling incredibly disconnected from the city. So let's break this down strategically, and that's going to be by lifestyle. If you have children or want that more suburban experience while still having amenities and great access to fun things, you should consider areas like Cedar Park, Round Rock, Pflugerville, or even Leander. These are suburban growth areas with trails, parks, community pools, and neighborhoods where residents actually know each other. You'll find space, quiet, and often a substantial home with excellent amenities for less than what a condo costs in central Austin. For young professionals, remote workers, or empty nesters just wanting urban energy, look into downtown, East Austin, South Congress, and spots near the Domain. These areas really bring vibrancy, walkability, and culture. You'll find coffee shops on every block, top-rated restaurants within walking distance, and you're minutes from anywhere that actually matters. Buyers have their choice between modern condos, renovated bungalows, or new construction luxury homes that really keep you in the mix. Just remember that space will be tighter, prices will be higher, and street parking can be challenging in many of these areas. For those really looking for the best of both worlds, places like Westlake, Bee Cave, and Lakeway offer an ideal balance. Westlake is highly desirable with Eanes Independent School District, Hill Country Estates, and proximity to downtown. It has that established, elevated energy with luxury homes and big views. Bee Cave features newer development and shopping at the Hill Country Galleria, as well as one of the nicest gated neighborhoods in all of Austin, which is known as Spanish Oaks. And Lakeway offers views of Lake Travis, golf courses, and a resort lifestyle vibe that truly feels like a retreat where you can actually unwind. If affordability and new construction appeal to you, spots like Kyle, Buda, Hutto, and Manor are launching entire communities regularly at prices that many people pay for studio apartments in California. And here's the trade-off. More space typically means a longer commute. If you're working downtown and buying a home in a spot like Hutto, just prepare for that drive time. And the truth is, there's no single best place to live in Austin. It comes down to your lifestyle, budget, commute, and ultimate values. And that's exactly what we help our clients determine every day. If you're weighing factors like walkability versus yard space, or central Austin versus Lake Travis, definitely reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description below. And once you find the right location, everything else falls into place. Before we talk more more about getting around Austin, the cost of housing, and other details to help you streamline your move, if navigating these different lifestyle options and really understanding the city's unique positioning sounds like something you'd like to explore together, then let's definitely connect. My name is Aubrey Von Baron, and my team and I specialize in helping people relocate throughout the greater Austin metro. And if you're not quite ready yet, just be sure to download our resources below and head over to our website to keep an eye on the market. Now, let's address how you'll actually navigate the city and why your GPS might actually be misleading you. There's no sugarcoating it. Austin is a driving city, period. If you're coming from a place where walking, biking, or public transit gets you everywhere, just prepare yourself. Austin is spread out, growing rapidly, and the infrastructure is definitely playing catch up. Everything is farther apart, especially if you're not right downtown, and that's where the commute piece becomes very real. Our highways have very distinct reputations. I-35 essentially becomes a parking lot during rush hour. MoPac does have an express lane, which has certainly helped, but it's not great. And your other highways like 183, 290, and 71 have their challenging moments as well. Toll roads are prevalent in the newer areas of the city, which has helped primarily north and east of the city center. Pro tip, get a Texas tag to save on those toll roads. It'll definitely help. Rush hour is alive and well. Plan for slowdowns in the mornings and evenings, especially if you're headed downtown or anywhere near one of the bridges over Lady Bird Lake. As for public transportation, we have Capital Metro buses and the Metro Rail, and they work in theory, but unless you live and work directly along those lines, it's really not a practical daily option for most people. You'll still need and want a car. And all of this is exactly why commute time should be one of the primary factors in your home search from day one. That dream house with an hour-long commute each way really loses its appeal quickly when you're sitting in traffic, unless that trade-off is worth it to you. And if you already live in the Austin area, I'd love to hear your commute tips or experiences in the comments. Let others know which highways to avoid and what shortcuts save your sanity. Once people determine where they want to live, their next question is always, what can I actually get for my money here? And I'll be direct with you, Austin used to be a place where $300,000 could get you a very solid home. Now that is virtually unheard of. With a $400,000 to $500,000 budget, you'll find really nice options in areas like Kyle, Buda, or Manor. That often gets you a brand new construction home, 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, maybe even a solid game room in there, and space is definitely not the issue here. If you move north of Austin, closer to Round Rock and Cedar Park, that same budget might get you a smaller, slightly older home, but in a more developed area with higher rated schools and a potentially shorter commute. If you're entering hill country territory and luxury suburb options, you can typically expect a minimum of $700,000, and that is typically much higher, especially for newer or remodeled homes. Consider Bee Cave, Westlake, or Lakeway. Homes come with views, high-end finishes, and neighborhood amenities that feel like vacation living. And the catch here is that prices quickly escalate well above and beyond that number with lot premiums, custom finishes, and HOA dues. For those wanting to live in East Austin, downtown, or South Congress, you're looking at a variety of options, from condos and townhomes to renovated bungalows to really nice custom new construction. These older homes in South Austin do come with character, but that also means maintenance considerations. Austin offers really nice options, but your dollar stretches very differently and not quite as far as you get closer to that city center. So just something very important to consider in your search. And just when you think you figured it out, there's another layer that buyers frequently overlook. Let's talk about the hidden costs of home ownership in Texas that definitely don't appear in those listing descriptions. So you've found the house you love, the price seems reasonable, and it checks all of the boxes. But before you fall in love with that listing photo of a backyard pool overlooking the hills, let's pause and talk about a few things that can catch you off guard if you're not prepared. Let's start with these hidden costs. You've probably heard that Texas doesn't have a state income tax, which is absolutely true. What's less frequently mentioned is that our property taxes are a lot higher than in most states. These taxes can range anywhere from 1.5% to over 3% annually, depending on where you buy. So that beautiful $500,000 home could potentially mean $12,000 to $15,000 per year in taxes alone. You add insurance, HOA fees, and possibly a mud or PID tax if you're buying in a master plan community, and those numbers can suddenly look quite different. And none of this is meant to discourage you. It's really just meant to prepare you. There are definitely nuances to this as well, including various tax exemptions that help reduce these numbers. And that's why it's really important to connect if you're considering a move, so we can actually walk you through these important details that are not typically readily available. Now, let's talk about what truly makes Austin feel like home, and that's the people who live here. A house isn't just walls and a roof. What makes you stay is actually the community you build around yourself. And Austin has incredible diversity. You'll find tech founders, musicians, teachers, artists, remote workers, corporate professionals, and multi-generational Texans all coexisting in the same metro. It's a city where everyone is pursuing different goals, and you can build your social circle as quickly as you want if you just put yourself out there. But if that's not really your cup of tea, you can also maintain your privacy very easily, which is what some of our clients actually prefer. The culture here blends creative freedom, Southern hospitality, and tech world ambition. People are more genuine and not pushy like you'll find in some other parts of the country. Strangers will chat with you at food trucks and events, and someone is probably going to invite you to their band's show by your second conversation. That's just how people are throughout Austin. Although Austin has definitely grown and changed over the years, the sense of community still exists in the city, and that's what people love. There are farmers markets, neighborhood festivals, adult kickball leagues, open mic nights, yoga in the park, dinner clubs, and other social hotspots. It's all happening somewhere throughout the Austin metro. And although it may not be as robust as a major city like Houston just yet, the food scene in Austin is also becoming incredibly diverse. And in fact, I think Austin's excellent food scene is actually one of the most underrated aspects of living in this city. Remember, every neighborhood has its own distinct personality. Some areas feel newer and polished, others feel a little bit more historic and rooted, and some feel artsy and experimental. It's about finding what fits you. And once you discover that neighborhood and those people who really match your lifestyle and energy, Austin truly starts to feel like yours. Speaking of fit, let's discuss schools. If you have children, are planning for children, or simply want strong resale value, this section is crucial. So what's the reality with schools in Austin? Austin definitely has options, whether you want more of that small, innovative charter school environment or a large, comprehensive high school with extensive programs. There's a setup that fits your family and needs. I always suggest resources like greatschools.org or niche.com to research options that ultimately fit your needs. Many clients considering relocating have also joined local parent groups online, and those are the ones that will provide the real insider information about the specific districts. Always verify school zoning with the district directly because these boundaries change frequently, especially in a rapidly growing metro like Austin. And if you're looking for an even deeper dive, reach out to us because we have contacts who can actually do some of this research for you. Now, I understand that if you have children or like strong resale, schools are definitely a priority, but so is finding work or having opportunities to advance your career specifically. Let's examine Austin's job market, income potential, and the opportunity engine that keeps this city thriving. Although very appealing, of course, people aren't relocating to Austin just for live music and friendly people. They're coming here to elevate their lives and for a serious change of scenery oftentimes. This city is genuinely thriving with opportunity, whether you're climbing the corporate ladder, freelancing from a coffee shop, or finally launching that creative project you've been developing and working on for years. Austin is where ambition meets authenticity. Let's start with the corporate presence. Tesla, Samsung, Dell, AMD, Apple, Google, Indeed. They didn't establish massive campuses here just for the great barbecue. They came here for the talent pool, the business-friendly environment, and the no state income tax advantage. They also brought thousands of jobs with them, and the tech sector alone has transformed Austin into a mini Silicon Valley, but with significantly more character. For creatives and entrepreneurs, the city has room for absolutely everyone. I've had clients relocate here and build entire brands from the ground up. Content creators, online educators, e-commerce business owners, and the list goes on and on. The key is that Austin has the infrastructure, community, and energy for whatever it is you want to build. If you want to grow something from zero to thriving, you don't need Silicon Valley capital to get started here. remote workers are very well positioned. And instead of competing for a small space in a small, expensive apartment in New York, you could be in a modern home with a spacious office, great internet, and a backyard where you can take Zoom calls outside, all while paying significantly less. Here's the important point. Austin rewards authenticity and hard work. If you arrive with vision and you're willing to put in the effort, this city opens doors. You can build something substantial, a career, a brand, and a life that genuinely feels fulfilling. If you've been following this channel, you know I don't sugarcoat things. So let's also address some of the challenges that you absolutely need to be prepared for. First, let's address some common misconceptions. If you've never lived in Texas, you've probably heard things that made you wonder, isn't it 105 degrees year round? Do I need a tornado shelter in my backyard? So let me clarify. Regarding weather, yes, it gets hot. Summer is toasty. From May to August, having ventilated seats in your car is pretty much a prerequisite in my opinion. But here's the key. Everything is built for the heat. Air conditioning is powerful. Every building is climate controlled, and nobody is jogging at 2 p.m. unless they're training for something very extreme. On the other hand, our winters are quite mild. You'll still experience cold weather where you'll want a jacket, but if Austin has snow, something isn't quite right. That's approximately a once every 5-year event or even more. And when it does arrive, the city essentially shuts down because we're just not equipped for it like other cities where that's the norm. Regarding tornadoes, yes, we're technically in an area where they can occur, but it's definitely not like storm chasers camp here waiting for the next big event. You'll occasionally hear a tornado watch or warning, but that's typically just a reminder to check the weather app, and they're often not even in the immediate area. I still have not experienced one myself, and I was born and raised in San Antonio. Here's what most people don't expect. Austin has some of the most spectacular sunsets you'll ever see. The outdoor lifestyle here is exceptional. You'll find yourself taking walks at Zilker Park or along the Lady Bird Lake Trail, catching outdoor concerts, and sitting on patios year-round without even planning for it. Yes, there's heat and the weather has its moments, but it's all manageable once you adjust. Just remember to stay hydrated, make sure your AC system has its annual tune-up, and download a reliable weather app and you're going to be just fine. If all of this information hasn't dissuaded you from considering Austin as your next home, let me provide some practical relocation advice. The information I wish every buyer had before making their move. Relocating to Austin is incredibly exciting, but it also needs to be very strategic. I've seen way too many people jump in without a solid plan. So here are some critical things I wish every client knew before actually making the move. First, do not rent in a neighborhood where you can't afford to buy. It sounds reasonable at first. Live there for a year to get a feel for it until you fall in love with the atmosphere and realize home prices are significantly beyond your budget. Now you're comparing everything else to an area that's completely unrealistic for you, and that's genuinely difficult. Second, timing matters more than people realize. If you're planning to move in spring or summer, it's excellent for options, but definitely more competitive with buyers. And in the fall and winter, there are often fewer listings, but sellers and builders become much more flexible. We've negotiated tens of thousands of dollars for clients simply because they timed their purchase strategically. Third, be very cautious with virtual tours and social media realtor recommendations. I've helped numerous clients with remote transactions, and FaceTime and video showings are helpful, but they definitely don't tell you everything. Take that train horn that sounds at 6 a.m. or that private air park around the corner where every plane flies right over your new house as a solid example. When you're not here in person, context is absolutely everything, and we'll make sure you know each of those nuances. Budget-wise, property taxes can be substantial, and that online mortgage calculator probably isn't providing complete information. Typically, it doesn't factor in property taxes, HOAs, utilities, or the true cost of homeowners insurance here in Texas. Finally, get very clear on what genuinely matters to you. It's really easy to get caught up in the aesthetic features, but does the layout work for your actual life? Consider all of those things. Do you want space to entertain or space to have your own private area? And make sure you have a very good understanding of the commute and how your day-to-day will actually look. Again, moving to Austin is more than just the address. It's about positioning yourself to truly thrive here. If you've gotten this far, you're probably not just curious, you're in full planning mode. Planning is definitely the smart approach. Austin isn't just a place to move, it's really a great place to grow, to build, and to start fresh and just be yourself. But doing it correctly takes more than Google searches and browsing Zillow. So whether you're establishing your timeline or you're deep diving listings late at night, know that you're not in this alone. If you do have questions, want to discuss strategy, or need on the ground guidance from a team that genuinely knows this metro inside and out, be sure to reach out. My team and I are ready to help you on this journey. And if you're still researching the areas around Austin, we've created an entire playlist that you can watch now. So let's make this next move your best one yet. Until next time.